So, Resident Evil 4, a game you might have heard about. Did you know this game is actually a remake of a game with the same name? You probably didn't, but it's amazing how a 20-year-old game can be so much better than its own remake. So go check it out. However, we'll be sticking with the remake today. As I start, or continue, my Handcannon only challenge run of Resident Evil 4. The rules are fundamentally the same, but there are some changes, so I'll go over all of them now. I'm not allowed to damage enemies with the Handcannon. What? I'm only allowed to damage enemies with the Handcannon. This includes melee or knifing, both of which are very integral to the core gameplay, whether you as a player like that or not. I'm not going to allow myself to parry, instead using the dodge roll mod because it's much more fun than parrying. And also, why wasn't this included to begin with? If anyone can dodge roll in Resident Evil, it's Leon. And yes, I know all about Resident Evil 3 and the garbage pile that is its own remake, but still. Number 2. If I happen to come across a suit of armor, I'm not allowed to put anyone in it if it helps them avoid damage.
Come on, you can't be serious!
3. We'll be playing on hardcore. I would have chosen professional, but the Handcannon is actually trash in this game, so I'm not very excited about my chances on a higher difficulty. And I'm not going to mod its stats, unless I get genuinely stuck. Post-production note, I do. Number 4. I'll be equipping the Handcannon first thing since it's a bonus weapon. However, I'll encounter enemies before then, so I will give myself the gun and ammo to start out with. This is both for convenience and lore reasons. I'll also be giving myself the Magnum ammo recipe from the beginning because I don't think I'm going to end up with many drops for it whatsoever, so at least I'll be able to craft it. Post-production notes. I'm not very acquainted with this game. I only ran through it a couple times in the past. So I didn't realize there was a chest, right after the first enemy, so I did not need to go through the process of giving myself the Handcannon to start out with. Number 2, I think I can count on less than one hand the amount of times I gained ammo through drops for the gun. So this rule about giving myself the recipe was absolutely necessary if I wanted to complete the game at all. Number 5, last but not least. This is a continuation, a sequel, so to speak. So if you haven't watched my run in the original game, please do so. Otherwise, you might get really confused, even with my previous video that caught you up on the lore. Without further ado, let us resume our journey with only the Handcannon 2, the search for more makeup. After leaving the island alone, I drove until I ran out of gas in the jet ski, which didn't take long, as multi-billion-dollar companies are surprisingly very cheap and stingy. Thankfully, I am picked up by a fishing village that was close by. They actually used to be a hub of tourism, trade, and commerce. But after being renamed by an American dictator, a decision they had no say in, it effectively destroyed the credibility and sustainability of their exported goods. It really is the American way to stick your hand in everyone else's cookie jars, but never replace the ingredients to make them. And to think, I used to live large off the salary of others suffering, and did not bat a single gorgeous eyelash. But now, I saw the dangers of the overreach of government, and what allowing companies and their CEOs to run rampant can conceivably do to the rest of the world. Thankfully, the village's police force was perfectly intact, and I was able to explain my situation in perfect English to them. Recently, a detective of theirs was investigating missing person cases that started occurring frequently in the last month, including an American girl and an older friend of hers who were taking photos of the quaint village for their spring break trip. This was exactly the lead I had been looking for. I spent some time recuperating from my ordeal before leaving with 2 detectives, and as a thank you for helping the villagers and promising them aid when I escape, they made me a leather jacket to replace my old one. There was only enough material for that and pants, so let's hope it doesn't get too cold during my investigation. We all spoke the local language, something called Japanese.
俺は車を見張っとく。中金取られたくないしな。泣けるぜ。
And we drive for a couple hours down a dilapidated path with natural overgrowth. Arriving at our destination in the early morning hours, we intelligently split up to cover more ground. It isn't long before I reach a large cabin, and a wave of déjà vu hits me. However, I feel more equipped than ever to handle anything after what I've been through. I hold my hand cannon close, reach into my ammo box that looks oddly familiar, and enter. At first, everything seems fine, apart from the animal carcasses and the religious symbols in the bed. Maybe they're just Texan or something. I come across a villager quickly, and he seems really chill with the whole breaking and entering thing. I remember that the villager I fought previously spoke a strange language, so I tried out my Japanese here, since that should clear my intentions. Well, he must absolutely be Texan, because as soon as he heard a Japanese voice, his World War II instincts kicked right in, and he attacked me. I immediately failed the challenge by blocking him with my knife, kicking him into a wall, and aiming a handgun directly at him. We'll give it a pass, because genuinely, how would a Texan benefit a European society? I run into the basement, and unfortunately come across the body of the older detective, who must have suffered the fate of anyone who isn't white in America, despite obvious proof of their citizenship. I call my other companion, who quickly gets cut off, most likely attacked by villagers. But we don't get a dramatic car crash sound effect this time, because remakes take all the fun out of when residents are being evil. I rush upstairs, and things come full circle, as the Texan, despite a lack of a head, tries to finish the job. Prejudice knows no bounds, but I guess southern state dwellers are easily able to survive without a head. Thankfully, their precious Second Amendment is able to take them down just the same. Unfortunately, nosy neighbors are also a trait with these guys here, and they come right over, most likely to snoop around. I evade them and run upstairs. Well, call me Scooby-Doo because I just got a clue. A picture of Ashleigh and a map. Extremely convenient for this random guy to have in his house. However, I don't get to stick around long in order to find out if there was anything else on Ashleigh, because the Texans arrived and reenacted their favorite movie because, trust me, it's good, just don't worry about the 2.5 hours of nothing that actually happened in The Shining. Well, I use my certified Leon tactics and decide to jump out of a window face first. The pathway down isn't actually clear as well, but using more certified Leon tactics, I make it to the center of the village. It is not a pretty sight here. I witness an average interaction between the American people and its non-white citizens. And since I can confirm firsthand that the government and law enforcement doesn't care about lynchings, I step in, delivering the justice they believe people who are different should get. It wasn't long before they sent in the big guns. The big guns being... Is that Freddy Fazbear? What is he doing here? He's a popular mascot, but I thought he had made it in America already. What's he doing here? I don't get much of a chance to ask, as all sense of urgency is lost within seconds, as the village fight proves to be very underwhelming. Even with Chick-fil-A's revenge running around. A bell in the distance sends the village into a trance. The Texans disappear into a very small room, and as they close the door, it seems my worst fears are realized. The symbol of the Los Illuminados is held here too, shaped like the adult stage of the Karen site. But those should all be gone, right? I decided to deliver a one-liner to nobody, which really doesn't work when the next shot is the burning corpse of an innocent man and a more grounded, serious interpretation of this event.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
And I pick up a weirdly fresh-looking can of Coca-Cola?
Oh, nice.
I thought it was weird when I was given a can before we left for the village, but finding it here too is strange. Especially since Dr. Pepper is a more popular soda than Coke in Texas. Its healing properties are useful, so I bring it along too. To add to my sense of familiarity, the next area is littered with blue medallions symbolizing the Karen cult. I try to knife them, since they aren't enemies, but the knife barely reaches any distance in this game, so I'm forced to use bullets on an object directly above me. I thought the knives were better for close encounters. The Texans continue to show their southern hospitality, and I greet them the way a fellow American would. They try and block my path forward with some rocks, even though there is a very obvious path right next to it. I guess people still act like QuickTime events are the worst thing ever, but then enjoy games such as Elden Ring, despite the fact that that entire genre is just a rhythm game and a QTE simulator, and also an extremely boring one at that. Speaking of boring, I'm still playing a Resident Evil Remake, so I'll refocus here. I suffer my first death at the hands of one of several things that suck in this game. The Handcannon. I line up a perfect shot on 2 enemies, but the bullet goes where it wants, and 90% of the time, it will not penetrate an enemy directly behind another one. This unrealistic miss from a trained agent causes the villagers' pitchfork to treat me like a piece of hay, and I get a strange blood sound effect afterwards, despite no blood pouring out at all. Because this game is so lackluster in gore, despite what little there is being flashy. Then again, there hasn't been much well-done gore since the original Resident Evil 4. Except for, Resident Evil 2. I guess it's different when the gore is zombies instead of regular people. I try and lead some guys into dynamite, hoping to get free loot, but the inconsistent explosions make this task all but impossible. Thankfully, the next toss lands right on the money, so instead of enemies shrugging off an explosion that would have definitely halved my health, they turn into paste. I get caught in a bear trap while trying to activate it, and like most things here, it's more of an annoyance than nail-biting suspense. Someone spanks my ass, and they're met with the fate everyone who touches someone unsolicited deserves. Trying to get these guys a taste of their own medicine goes worse than it should, so I escape into a house that they don't decide to follow me into. I hear some thudding in the basement. It was just some dude who thought he could do his own home repair, but fumbled it entirely just so he didn't have to admit he needed to call a professional. I easily undid his mistake and hopped down into the basement, where a mysterious moving bag was hidden. Opening it slowly, I'm shocked when I find none other than Hada Dong? What was she doing here? She said her chopper had been chased down by another flying vehicle, one led by 9 deer? I really can't believe anything she says anymore. But before I can question her further, Hada alerts me to an enemy from behind. Oh my god. She was right. Her captor was none other than Santa Claus himself. I aim a handgun at him, but because breaking rules is only for naughty boys, he whips me across the room. My conscience fading, but not before I feel the prick of a needle at my neck. Lamenting all the times he never gave me what I wanted for Christmas, I fade away, and I'm taken elsewhere.